Hello. Let's see the chapter 2, chemical equations. Okay, chemical equations. What is a chemical equation, or where this chemical reactions takes place? Have you people noticed any chemical reaction taking place around you? Let's discuss all these points in this lesson. We see many chemical reactions takes place around us and even within us. Around us, even within us, many chemical reactions takes place. So we may not notice many of the chemical reactions. Many of the chemical reactions are not noticed by us. Example, the digestion which is taking place inside the stomach, even that is a chemical reaction. Is it not? Sir. So we see many chemical reactions taking place around us. Can you list some chemical reactions which are taking place? Yes, let's see. The process of digestion. So these are some of the chemical reactions. Some chemical reactions that takes place around us. So what are they? First one, okay, digestion, isn't it? And ripening of a fruit, fruit ripening. Next, what else? Burning of a paper or burning a matchstick, Next, what else? Okay, and even respiration. So many more reactions that takes place. So I have given you a few the chemical reactions which takes place around. So in our daily life, that is digestion. Next, ripening of a fruit. Next, burning a matchstick, and the other one, respiration. These are different chemical reactions. Not only this, okay, many more reactions takes place. Okay, so around us. So let's see, there are some activities given in our book relates to this chemical equations or chemical reactions. Let's understand this one. So activity 1. So I think you understood what are the chemical reactions that are taking place around us. So these are several reactions that are happening around us. Yes, we will discuss each one, okay, later. But now let's move on to this. Activity 1. Before going into this activity 1, what is the difference between this chemical change and a physical change? You have studied this in your earlier classes, in your lower classes. What's the basic difference between this chemical and a physical change? In a chemical change, we can see a new product is formed. In a chemical change, we see a new product is formed. Whereas in physical change, we don't find a new product or new compound is formation of a new compound. We don't observe, we don't find in physical change. So let's see the activity 1. Activity 1. So what about this activity 1? First, let's take one beaker. This beaker, okay, let it be filled with calcium oxide. Okay, calcium oxide. Okay, first before that, let's add some water. So this is water present in it. So to this water, calcium oxide is added. CaO, calcium oxide is added. A quicklime. What is this? A quicklime is added. Calcium oxide is added. So what's the quantity, how much amount of, or what's the quantity that to be taken, okay, or that to be added in this? Yes, so 1 gram of quicklime is added to the 10 ml of water. So this is the water, okay, how much amount? 10 ml of water. To this 10 ml of water, you're adding 1 gram of, okay, calcium oxide. Once when you add this, leave it for some time. After some time, okay, this beaker, so when you touch this beaker, so the external surface, okay, only this external surface, if you touch or when you hold this, okay, external surface of this beaker, a glass material, a glass beaker, when you touch that one, how do you feel? We feel it is hot. We feel it is hot. Got it? So why do we feel it is hot? By this, what do you confirm? We can confirm this is an exothermic reaction. It is an exothermic reaction. Thermic reaction. What is this reaction? Is called as exothermic reaction. It's a chemical reaction. First of all, it is a chemical reaction. Okay, what is being reacted with each other? Calcium oxide is reacted with water to produce calcium hydroxide. To produce calcium hydroxide, CaOH twice, calcium hydroxide is formed. Okay. So it is said to be an exothermic reaction. Here exo means outside, out. Exo means out. Here therm means heat. Term means heat. So heat is evolved, heat is released. When the chemical reaction is taking place, we notice or we observe, okay, heat is evolved or heat is released. That is the reason we call this as an exothermic reaction. It is said to be a exothermic reaction. If you notice this equation, chemical equation, CaO plus H2O, okay, gives rise to CaOH twice. Calcium hydroxide is formed. Okay, calcium hydroxide. This is the main product which is formed here in this one. Okay. If you notice, this is a balanced chemical equation? Yes, it is a balanced chemical equation also. Calcium, only one element, one atom of calcium is there. Here also one atom. Here oxygen, 2 are there. Here also 2. So it is a balanced chemical equation. So this is the chemical reaction that takes place, okay, when you add water and calcium oxide. So which type of reaction this is? It is an exothermic reaction. Why it is called as exothermic reaction? Because heat is evolved, heat is released. So how can you find out heat is released? When you touch this beaker, so we feel it is hot. By this we can confirm the heat is released, okay, during this chemical reaction. That is why, okay, we can say it is a exothermic reaction. And next, when you dip a red litmus paper, okay, when you dip a red litmus paper, so does it changes its color? What do you notice? Does it changes any, do you find any change? Okay, now, okay, the solution what we had. So in this solution, so I'm dipping a red litmus paper. Okay, I'm dipping a red litmus paper. So when you dip this, or when you add 1 or 2 drops of litmus paper, we know litmus paper, it is an indicator. It is a substance, it is an indicator which is helpful for us to find out whether the given sample is acidic or basic. Isn't it? So which is the indicator I'm taking? Red litmus paper indicator I have taken. So when I dip this inside, okay, into this, okay, calcium oxide and water, okay, into this beaker, into this solution, does it changes any color? Yes, it changes its color. It changes from red to blue. It changes color from red to blue. By this, what is the nature of the solution which is formed here? What is the nature of the solution? Is it acidic or basic? If a red litmus changes its color from red to blue, then we can confirm it is a base. This is basic in nature. It is basic in nature. Got it? This is basic in nature. It is a base. We can simply say it as a base. Calcium hydroxide, it is a base. So what happens when now calcium oxide and water reacts with each other? A base is formed. This is about the activity number 1. Yes, now let's move on to this another one, activity 2. In this activity 2, he's asking to take again a beaker, 100 ml of water to be taken. So in this one, 100 ml of water to be taken. Okay, first I'm taking a beaker. This is the beaker that I have taken. This is for the activity 2. So how much amount of water to be taken? 100 ml of water to be taken. 100 ml of water. Now add a small quantity of sodium sulfate. Okay, a small quantity of Na2SO4, sodium sulfate to be added. Let me write here sodium sulfate. Okay, this is added into this water. First, what to be taken? A beaker. Let me write this name also. Beaker. And to this, what you're adding? 100 ml of water. And to this 100 ml of water, you're adding a small quantity of Na2SO4, sodium sulfate. Okay, when this is added, so it forms as when it gets mixed with each other, when you mix it each other, so what's going to happen? We see a formation of solution. Which solution is formed? Sodium sulfate solution is formed. Okay, we see the solution here. So which solution is this? Sodium sulfate solution. Sodium sulfate solution. Sodium sulfate solution is formed. Yes, let's keep this aside. Let this solution be aside. So this is, okay, container A, a beaker A, which contains sodium sulfate solution. Now let's go for the other beaker. Let's go for the other beaker. Again, take 100 ml of water. Take 100 ml of water in this also. 100 ml of water to be taken. And to this, what to be added? A chemical, that is BaCl2, barium chloride to be taken. BaCl2. Okay, barium chloride, CHLORID, barium chloride. A chemical is added into this. Again, this is mixed. So when you get mixed with when this both mix with each other, now we get a barium chloride solution. We get a barium chloride solution. Okay, barium chloride solution we got. This is the solution. So two different type of solutions we had with us now. One is, okay, sodium sulfate solution, and other one is barium chloride solution. These are the two solutions which we had with us. Now take the third beaker. Let's have the third beaker. So this is the third beaker I'm taking. Okay, so this is beaker A, this is beaker B, and this is beaker C. I'm taking the third beaker also, that is beaker C. Now introduce small amount of, okay, sodium sulfate into this, and also a small amount of barium chloride. When you mix this both, so which both are mixing, okay, Na2SO4 plus BaCl2, barium chloride. What does it produces? It produces BaSO4 plus here NaCl, but here 2 NaCl it should be. 2 NaCl. Okay, these are the products which are formed. Okay, these are the products. It's a chemical reaction. Completely, this is a chemical reaction. Which are the, okay, these both are said to be reactants. We call these as reactants. And these are said to be products. PRODUCTS, products. Completely, this is a chemical equation. Okay, chemical equation. So in this chemical equation, what do we observe? We observe reactants as well as products. Notice here, this is the arrow. Okay, the chemicals which are present, the compounds which are present towards the tail of the arrow, we call these as reactants. And the compounds which are present towards towards the head of the arrow, towards the head of the arrow. So these we call them as products. We call this as reactants and we call these as products. Okay, towards the head of the arrow, products, towards the tail of the arrow, reactants. So when these both reactants, when these both compounds reacts with each other, so we see the formation of barium sulfate and also 2 NaCl, two molecules. One molecule of sodium sulfate, remember this one, one molecule of sodium sulfate reacts with one molecule of barium chloride to produce or to yield, we even can say it as yield, Y-I-E-L-D. So to produce or to yield one molecule of BaSO4, this is completely a molecule, one molecule of barium sulfate and two molecules of NaCl, sodium chloride, two molecules of sodium chloride. A white precipitate is formed. This is, okay, this barium sulfate, it settles down in the form of a precipitate. It settles down, PPT we call it as, PPT, precipitate. P-R-E-C-I-P-I, here I'll write precipitate, T-A-T-E. Yes, in short we write it as PPT, precipitate. Okay, what is precipitate here? A substance which don't dissolve, a substance which settles down without dissolving in the liquid. So that material, that substance we call it as a precipitate. Okay, so this precipitate can be shown with a downward arrow. We even can show with downward arrow like this. This means, okay, wherever you see this downward arrow, remember it is a precipitate. Okay, it is a material or it is a compound which don't dissolve, okay, which settles at the bottom. So that is said to be the precipitate. So this one, it behaves as a precipitate. BaSO4, a precipitate is formed here in this chemical reaction. Now is it clear for you? So what's the color of this barium sulfate? It is white in color. It is white in color. Okay, all this Na2SO4, the color of this, it is white in color. BaCl2 barium chloride, even this is also white in color. Barium sulfate, it is white in color, and NaCl is also white in color. So this is the thing, okay, that takes place in activity 2. Okay, I repeat. Okay, just listen please. First, let's have 3 beakers like this, first, second, third. Now in the first beaker, let's add 100 ml of water. To this, you're adding a small quantity of Na2SO4, sodium sulfate. This both gets mixed. We get a solution. Which solution is this? Sodium sulfate solution we get. Now, in the second one, in the second beaker, let's take the same amount of water like what we have taken in the first one. So 100 ml of water. And to this, let's add a small quantity of BaCl2, barium chloride. When it gets mixed, so we get a solution, so that is barium chloride solution. Now we had 2 different type of solutions. One is sodium sulfate and the other one is barium chloride. Let's see what's going to happen when these both are mixed with each other. Yes, this is what is going to take place. A small quantity of sodium sulfate and a small quantity of barium chloride. This both are added, Na2SO4, and also here this is added with BaCl2. Okay, this both are added in this third beaker. Now, what are the products or what's going to form? So it's going to form BaSO4, barium sulfate, and also 2 molecules of NaCl. Are these the new compounds? Are these the new products from this? A new substance or not? Yes, these are the new substances. Are these both similar to this both? No. This is, okay, these compounds are entirely different from these compounds. That's the reason we can say, okay, we can say it is a chemical reaction. It's a chemical reaction. I told you already, in a chemical reaction, a new substance is formed. A new compound is formed. So that's, okay, we can say it is a chemical reaction. Okay, that's what about, okay, activity 2. Now let's move on to this activity number 3. Activity 3. Activity number 3. Okay, so in this one we're going to find which gas is released when zinc reacts with an acid, when a metal reacts with acid. Okay, so when a metal reacts with acid, so what's going to form, or which gas is going to release? Let's observe that. First, let's take a conical flask. Okay, so this is the conical flask that I have taken. Conical flask. Got it? Now I'm adding zinc granules. Okay, small amount of or few pieces of zinc granules. Zn granules. GRANULES. Zinc granules, zinc pieces. Granules are nothing but small metal pieces, small pieces. We call those as zinc granules. Now let's introduce a small amount of HCl, hydrochloric acid. HCl, hydrochloric acid. So what is added into this? Hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid is added. Okay, so what does it produces when this both react with each other? So that means, okay, this is metal and here this is an acid. So when the metal and the acid reacts with each other, when a metal plus acid reacts with each other, what does it produces? So zinc, metal is zinc plus HCl, hydrochloric acid. So it produces ZnCl2, zinc chloride. ZnCl2, zinc chloride plus H2, hydrogen gas is released. Hydrogen gas is released. This is the chemical reaction. So but here we need to take 2 here. So this actually earlier it is unbalanced chemical equation. So when you add here 2, so it becomes balanced. Zinc, one atom of zinc is there, so here also 1 is there, and hydrogen 2 atoms are there, here 2 atoms of hydrogen, and chlorine here 2 are there, and here also 2. So it is a balanced chemical equation. We will discuss about this balanced and unbalanced chemical equations in the next class of ours, but as of now, okay, let's understand this part. So what's going to happen when a metal reacts with acid? It produces metal salt, ZnCl2. Okay, it produces metal salt, and hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas is produced. Hydrogen gas is released. So this symbol, it represents, this arrow, upward arrow, it represents gas. Earlier I said you downward arrow represents precipitate and upward arrow it represents gas. Okay, why? Because of its here this hydrogen, because of its less density, gases, especially this gases, because of the less density, they rises up, they moves up. Okay, paiki potune untayi. So because of lower density, what density takku untundi kabatti paike potu untundi, andike so this is shown with upward arrow. Okay, so this is the chemical reaction that takes place when you add this both. First, what we are taking, we take a beaker, conical flask, and this conical flask, let's add small amount of zinc granules, and to this, let's introduce some amount of HCl, hydrochloric acid. When this both react with each other, when this both are added with each other, do they keep quiet? No. Metal, it readily reacts with acid. It shows reaction with this acid. Okay, and it produces ZnCl2, zinc chloride along with this hydrogen gas. So how we can confirm the gas which is released here is hydrogen? How can you confirm that? Yes, for that there is a test, flame test we call it as, flame test. FLAME. So let's go with the flame test to confirm the gas here, which gas is released. To confirm which gas is released, let's go with a confirmatory test, with a flame test. So means here we know this, it releases a gas, that is hydrogen gas అని చెప్పి అనుకుంటున్నాం. సో అది హైడ్రోజన్ గ్యాస్ కాదని మనం తెలియాలంటే కనుక when you bring a mastic when you bring a mastic near this, okay, the mastic which is lit చేసిన mastic అనమాట, light చేసింది, okay, అంటే fire ఉంది దీనికి. So when you bring a mastic near to this, so it gets put off by producing pop sound. It gets put off by producing pop sound. Which gets put off? Flame gets put off by producing pop sound, pop, okay, by producing sound like that, it gets put off. Okay, flame undadi iga. So by this we can confirm the gas which is released here is hydrogen gas అని చెప్పి మనం కన్ఫర్మ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. Okay, so that's what about this equation, okay, about this activity 3. Yes, okay, this is the third activity. I repeat here once again, conical flask, and into this conical flask, what is that you are taking? Metal you are taking. Which metal? That is zinc granules. And to this zinc granules, what is being added? Hydrochloric acid. When this both reacts with each other, what's going to happen? This is a chemical reaction. Okay, that is Zn plus HCl gives rise to ZnCl2 plus H2. This is the chemical reaction that takes place. It produces salt and also hydrogen gas. So how can you confirm this is a gas, hydrogen? The gas which is released here is hydrogen. How can you confirm that? So by bringing a mastic near to it, which is lit చేసిన mastic ని దాని దగ్గర తీసుకొస్తే, అంటే గ్యాస్ ఎక్కడైతే రిలీజ్ అవుతుందో అక్కడికి తీసుకొస్తే కనుక, so it gets put off by producing pop sound. By this we can confirm the gas which is released here is hydrogen. Yes, now it is time for us to go for the homework, please. Okay, let's do it. List some chemical reactions that take place in our daily life. Okay, yes, we will conclude with this. Yes, okay, take this as your homework. Okay, first question, this is the only homework for you. List some chemical reactions that takes place in our daily life, even in our surroundings. మన చుట్టుపక్కల కెమికల్ రియాక్షన్స్ ఏమేమైతే జరుగుతున్నాయో అవి కొన్ని లిస్ట్ చేసి try to forward that in your group, okay, in your school group. And the remaining topic, that is activity 3 and the other topics, we will discuss in our next class. Okay, thank you.